It is never black and white. Can't have one without the other. The dark without the light.
Hello, beautiful creatures. Welcome to this channel. I am Aradia, the Witch of Dark Light, and I hope you all are doing well. And if this is your first time here, thank you for dropping in. Please do consider subscribing and giving a thumbs up. And hello to all you beautiful souls that are subscribed to this channel. I appreciate you very much. This video is going to be about some ancestral magic and working with skulls. So I wanted to make this video because of the time that we are in, and I will be activating, enchanting a skull with ancestral magic. And I will be doing that on Thursday with my Patreons live, but I wanted to share here with you that process, what that is, and what that's going to look like in case that's something that you want to do. So first, I want to talk about the purpose. The purpose of doing this is, and you don't necessarily have to use a skull, but I like the representation of the skull and what it stands for, and especially for the purpose that it's going to be used for. So I'm going to take, and I'm going to share with you 3 different options. So the purpose is, the skull is going to be imbued with the energies of your ancestors. You're going to call them in and invoke those energies. More on that later on in the video. But once that's done, what you can do is use this skull in your magic, in your rituals, in your spells, as an additional aid of help. So that's your ancestors, essentially their magic, they're helping you. So what you would want to do is you would take that skull and whatever it is that you will be using, but you would take that skull and give it some words of activation for every time that you will be using it. Something like, I activate the skull with my ancestors' magic, or I activate the workings of the skull, or something like that. But just to set the intention to awaken, to be activated at that time that you will be using it. But it will already be imbued with the magic. You're just calling it forth every time that you use it. Or you can use it when you commune and connect with your ancestors. This is adding that additional aid to help you have an easier time to connect and with your ancestors. So these are the ways that you can use this skull after you have activated it. And there is another way that this skull can be used, but that's tapping into more of the darker side of magic, and that's necromancy, which I know that's not for everyone. But if you are interested in that, the way that it's typically used for necromancy is you aren't calling in your ancestors. What you would do is call in your certain spirits that would aid you in activating that skull for that purpose. But this video is about ancestral magic. I will share some more on that another time. So these are the reasons, or the purpose for using this, enchanting the skull with this magic. And like I said, if you don't have a skull, and when I say skull, let me clarify, I don't mean right now what I'm speaking about, because I know real human skull it's definitely something that's very expensive to get. And in any case, I wouldn't use a human skull of someone else. I would use, I mean, you can, but for me, I wouldn't use a human skull of someone else. It would have to be, from one of my ancestors. And since that is not something that's going to be, that I have access to, I will be using a skull of my creation. But I will share that with you in a second. The 3 skulls that I am going to share with you are the 3 options that you can use. The first is the skull candle. Now, it doesn't have to be a black skull candle, whatever color calls to you, speaks to you, but this can be the representation. This could be what you imbue with your ancestors' magic. And since it's a candle, you have the option of saying, okay, when I use this, every time that I use this, I light the candle and then put it out until the next time that you use it. And when it burns out, you get another skull candle and imbue it with your ancestors' magic at a specific time. Or you just don't light it and use this, whenever you need it. So this is one option to use as a skull to be enchanted with ancestral magic. Now, the next one that I have here, this skull I have for quite some time, and I know this is, it's very big, but it has like the zodiac here, sun and the moon. This is one that I have for some years now, but what a great time to have these available, because it is, at the time that I'm filming this, we are approaching Halloween, so there are many skulls to be had that you can use. So this is an option. I'm not going to use this one now, but I may use it for the future, maybe for necromancy. As then the more I think about it, I think that's what I'm going to do. So but for now, this is not the skull that I will be using, but this is an option because I know these are available quite a bit. The last one is one of my own creation. I made it out of clay and molded it. And I did this years ago because it was for another purpose, but I didn't use it for that purpose. So I had it just on hand here. And so I thought, what better way to use this? You see it here. It's very heavy. And you can see like the clay. But I am going to be using this and imbuing it with all of that concentrated energy of the ancestors. The invocation, I will put in the description of this video so that if you want to use it or just see what I have and kind of go off that and add your own flair to it. But I sat and thought about it, and I put it together, and it's really a powerful incantation. So what you will do when you activate this is for my skull that I will be using, and if you use a skull like the one I showed you with the that's not the skull candle, you want to take a candle and sit it on top here, so kind of melt the bottom of the candle so that it can adhere to the top of the skull, and you want to do that for this one as well. All right, so you first do that, and then once you set the candle on top of the skull, you light that candle, and then at this time is when you chant the incantation. And when you chant that incantation, right, you want to chant that incantation like nobody's business. Right? You want to chant that incantation like you are really calling out far and wide, because the incantation that I wrote involves calling in your beloved ancestors from the beginning of time, as well as your beloved ancestors that you know. And if you're going to be writing an incantation on your own, the reason why I put beloved in there is because you don't want to be calling forth an ancestor that, you don't get along with, or an ancestor that's not the best of persons. So you want to call your beloved, call them forth. And so the incantation is for ancestors from the beginning, as far back as the magic can go, and for your ancestors now. And you're going to do that incantation. And after you do that, I'll put that in the description as well. I will be having a cauldron there, and every time I say one of the lines, I will place in the cauldron. There will be a charcoal disc burning, and I will place inside the cauldron. I am using dry tobacco. Using dry tobacco, so I will put some of that in a cauldron. As I say a line, and I say the next line, I'm going to put some frankincense resin. And then the last line that I will say will be a written petition to the ancestors for their help. So you're going to have that on a small piece of paper, nothing big. You're going to have that on a small piece of paper written out. And when you say that last line, you're going to fold that up and light it. If the charcoal is not strong enough, light it and put it inside your cauldron. And at that time, you can just close with, so mote be, and then let the candle burn down. And once that candle burns down, your skull is now imbued with that ancestral magic. And going forward, you can use it, like I said, to commune with your ancestors, or to help you with spell working, rituals, anything like that. And even divination. When you're working divination, you can pull the skull out and let it aid you in receiving messages. So that's another way that you can use it. But I just wanted to share that with you. And if you want to join us over on Patreon, I will be doing that live on Zoom on Thursday, and I believe that's the 26th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And and also, if you don't have a skull and you want to get a skull to do this, the veil is usually thin between the time of around now and usually mid-October well into the winter solstice. So this is usually that time that the veil is thinnest. So you have time to go out and get yourself a skull, if this is something that you want to do. And if you aren't comfortable using a skull, you can absolutely choose an item, maybe an item that is specific to one of your ancestors. But this is magic that you will be doing to call in all your ancestors. Magic. So maybe something that's more general. But you don't have to use what I use to put in the cauldron. You can use what speaks to your ancestral line. Like I'm using dried tobacco, so you can use whatever calls to your ancestral line that you want to put in the cauldron. But I will put that all in the description for you. so that you can have what it is that I'm doing available to you. Also, if you want to, because maybe I'll share the necromancy part over on my other channel, and if you are into more or want to learn more of the darker side of things, the darker occult, please do go over and check out my new channel. If you don't know already, check out my new channel. That is specific to working with demons, working with the dark occult, and understanding what that is, just sharing my experiences and the things that I have learned and still learning. That's also over on Patreon. I have a tier for that, but yeah, I just wanted to come on here and share this ancestral magic, working with skulls, because this is a wonderful time for you to do this, as I said. And as you know, the veil is thinning, or is thin at this time, and there's a lot of ancestral activity, spiritual activity, otherworldly activity for you to tap into it and use it to activate your skull. So that is all I wanted to share with you, beautiful souls, on today. Until the next video, I love you all, and into the shadows.